Hello and welcome to GFN Soul NYC FM and Real Life TV Now. I'm Robert Ashley and we welcome you to another edition of the Robert Ashley Show. Now be sure to subscribe to our channel, like our channel, and hit that notification bell so that you will know when we're dropping new information. We don't want you to perish because of a lack of knowledge. Now also here on GFN Soul NYC and Real Life TV Now each and every night at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. If you're looking for the best in throwback music, you need to check out my colleague Wayne G. right here on GFN Soul NYC FM, the best in throwback music, and that's each and every night, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Now, what we do here is news and commentary, and once again, we are honored to have you with us right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Well, if you've been making sure you're not living under a rock, then Dallas-Fort Worth has been in the news all over the place. From our outspoken Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett to the tragic stabbing death of a young athlete who just happens to be white, and the alleged perpetrator, the alleged so-called alleged murderer, killer, whatever you will, is indeed a young African-American man. And these stories have been rocking the United States of America. And of course, we start off by expressing our condolences to all the families that are involved. It's a tragic situation when we see our young people continuing to kill. Now, in the black community, the killing that goes on each and every week, you don't see that in the headlines each and every week, the number of people who are shot and killed here in Dallas, Texas. What about Chicago, Illinois, and San Francisco, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., black on black? You're not going to hear anything about that because for some reason it seems like somebody wants that type of black genocide to continue to perpetrate itself. And because this situation involving Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, look at the racial dynamics in it. And now it's gone to another level. Now, we're going to look at this given situation, and you're innocent until proven guilty. Now, we know that Karmelo Anthony has basically told the law enforcement officials what he allegedly did. And all of that's going to be taken into court. It's going to be sorted out. The district attorney there in Collin County, very distinguished lawyers who will be representing Karmelo Anthony, and of course the family of Austin Metcalf. Now, the family of Austin Metcalf, they're seeking justice. They feel like their son was murdered for literally no reason. Now, in terms of Karmelo Anthony, their family is contending this was self-defense, and the young man might have allegedly been bullied by two big so-called white boys that approached him about sitting underneath a tent at a track meet while it was raining. Now, when we look at the circumstances of this given situation, it's incredible that a life has been lost. No circumstances will ever justify murder. No circumstances will ever justify murder. Now, had it been Austin Metcalf stabbing and killing Karmelo Anthony, a black man, situation would have been totally different. The racial dynamics are something that we're going to have to make sure we don't let get out of hand. Now, when you think about the racial dynamics in a situation like this, is this another George Floyd type of situation? Will Democratic politicians, those on the left and those on the right, will they eventually get involved and we see this thing take on a life of its own, just like the George Floyd situation took on a life of its own? Is this case going to be used as a distraction from what the Trump administration, Elon Musk, are doing in terms of the Doge investigation? What impact will this story have on all of that? We just don't know. But one thing we do need to keep in mind, that we're the United States of America. If we let anything such as a tragic situation like Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, if we allow something like that to fracture the unity that we have as American citizens, then the communists, the Russians, the Chinese, those who would like to take over this country without firing a shot, they could take advantage of that kind of disunity that we have in the country. The United States of America could possibly be on the verge of collapse from an economic point of view, as well as a societal point of view. Could we have a race war in this country? The late Carl Rowan, a very distinguished journalist, wrote a book called The Coming Race War. And I can recall interviewing the late journalist by the name of Carl Rowan when he wrote that book, The Coming Race War. And Carl basically was saying that if indeed there is a race war in the United States of America, Who stands to gain from that? Who has the power to orchestrate that kind of thing? Could it prompt President Trump to call martial law? Could we see the Constitution suspended? Could we have an internal fight, and then the so-called enemies that are outside of America can begin to say, okay, now is the time to allow our sleeper cells. Now is the time to have all of the communist socialists or the haters that came in when President Biden had the border completely wide. Now it's time for them to get up and create an insurrection, to do random terror attacks. What could happen as a result of the racial situation? Now, we're encouraging everyone to be prayerful. God is on the throne. He's watching this given situation. Now, there are some people who want to say, forget about God. I'm going to take this situation into my own hands. Now, here in America, once again, you're innocent until proven guilty. Now, the situation involving Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, just an incredible situation. Because when you ask yourself, why would a young man bring a knife to a track meet? Was it premeditated? Did Karmelo Anthony know exactly what he was going to do? If two people were to approach me and say, look, man, if you don't get out of this area here, there's going to be some problems. If I were to say, okay, I've got my hand on my bag and touch me and see what happens to me. Am I encouraging a sense of violence? Am I just more or less defending myself, if you will? So if indeed one of the young men go ahead and put his hands on me and I pull out a Uzi machine gun and just kill him right out, was that an overkill, or was that justification, or was that a misuse of deadly force? Was my life being threatened? The mere fact that somebody might have wanted to fight or kind of get into a little tussle there, is it worth killing someone? That may be the question that those who are supporting Austin Metcalf are asking. Now, on the other hand, with Karmelo Anthony, there are so many African Americans who say, well, look, had these two young men, the Metcalf brothers, had they just minded their own business, who gave them the right to come and say, look, you got to go? Or were they looking for a fight? Or when you look at it from an athletic point of view, I used to be a high school wide receiver. And back during my day, there wasn't that much inner city rival. Of course, we knew that there were other teams on the other side of the city that we wanted to beat and all that kind of thing, but never would we think about killing anybody. It never got to the point of hating and wanting to kill. But in this situation involving Karmelo and Austin, was there a football rivalry behind the given situation? Or was it something of a racial situation where Karmelo felt so-called threatened by these two brothers? But then again, we just don't know that. And also, we haven't seen any video, and whether or not some video will surface, we just don't know. Now, also, then you have a young man by the name of Dominique Alexander of the Next Generation Action Network. We have covered that organization here locally for quite some time. And unfortunately, Dominique was at the head of the protest demonstration in downtown Dallas when 5 police officers were shot and killed, and a young African-American man was blown up by C4. That's when a black police chief by the name of Dave Brown sent in a robot with C4 and literally blew up the young black man who had shot those officers, blew them to pieces and things of that sort. So we've had some horrific situations go on right here in Dallas, Texas, but we're just wondering what will happen once this situation goes to court. Now, also, there's a possibility of protest demonstrations taking place there in Frisco, Texas. Is that something that's needed right now, or could that even provoke even more tension? Now, also, I want to take you to what is called the Communist Manifesto. If you have a chance to read the Communist Manifesto, the Communist Manifesto said that racial tensions would indeed be used to help destroy the United States of America. Can you imagine if there's just a big all-out race war and we got a big trade war that's going on involving the Trump administration? Now, with this trade war, the Trump administration says they're just trying to bring American economic sovereignty back to the country. You can recall that we were closing all of our plants, deindustrializing the United States of America, and all of our businesses were going overseas. Every time you look at something made in China, made in Taiwan, somewhere other than the United States of America. Now, that has gone on for several decades, so it's going to be a long time before we can rebuild the industrialization of the United States. But as we're trying to rebuild the industrialization of the United States with a, $37 trillion deficit and things of that sort, what if we start fighting within our own family here in this country? And then you got bombs being lobbed in from China, bombs being lobbed in from Iran, just all kinds of things. So as we look at it right here on GFN Soul NYCFM and Real Life TV Now, we are praying about the situation here in North Texas involving Karmelo Anthony and the late Austin Metcalf.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband works hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a 2-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution, we believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in the legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Y'all, I'm going to show something up of a post. You come for me, I come for you. Sarah Fields. Never heard of this woman. This is the kind of despicable things that led to the father being here. Political operatives motivating this family with hate.
And we welcome you back to Real Life TV Now, as well as GFN Soul NYC FM. I'm Robert Ashley, and you're watching The Robert Ashley Show. And what we do here is news and commentary. Now, the situation involving these two young men, they are in Frisco, Texas. We just don't know how it's going to come out. But we do know that if indeed there's a racial powder keg, if it explodes within the United States of America, could it spread all over the country? And once again, this country is hanging in the balance with a $37 trillion deficit, with people wanting to destroy the United States of America. As fellow Americans ourselves, we're going to have to ask ourselves the real big question. Will we come together on one accord and deal with this given situation, or will we allow ourselves to fight among one another and perish like a bunch of fools? Well, once again, you've been watching The Robert Ashley Show right here on GFN Soul NYC FM, Real Life TV Now. And don't forget now, each and every night at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, we've got The Quiet Storm, the best in throwback music, chill out music. And perhaps we all as a country in Frisco, Texas, here in Dallas, Texas, all around the country, maybe we need to chill. Where are our pastors? Where are those who can set a moral tone of togetherness? Or will it just be hell right here on earth? On behalf of GFN Soul NYC FM and Real Life TV Now, I'm Robert Ashley.